What's up, kids? Peter Von Panda here. I just wanted to address a request I've had from a number of people on how to change the watch bands on watches that use spring bars. So it's actually pretty easy. There's a number of videos out there that show it. This is a roll that holds a toilet paper roll into the toilet paper holder. And if you've seen this, you have the skills to change most watch bands. And so inside of the watch band, whoops, there goes the camera, there is a little spring that runs through the hole here and holds that watch band in place. And that it's called a spring bar on most watches because it has a little spring in it and it compresses. And what you use is a spring bar removal tool like this, which is just, it's essentially like one of those little tiny micro screwdrivers you use on glasses, but it has a little notch in the end, as you can see. And that's so that you can grab onto the neck of the spring of the little spring bar and push it down. So they're pretty easy to do. A couple of key things that you want to make sure is that when you're looking at watch bands, you have to know what the width is. Sometimes it's stamped on the bottom here. Most of the time in the packaging it'll tell you. This is a 23 millimeter wide watch band here. This Tissot uses a 23 millimeter wide watch band here at the lugs. Really, only the lugs, the width at the lug matters. And for the most part, with just that measurement, the watch bands are going to be interchangeable. But there are some exceptions. Like I said, there are other ways to attach watch bands to watches, including screw-in bars. Some use kind of some snap-in pieces. Some things like the Hublot use kind of their own design. But in most cases, it's the spring bar. A couple things here to note is that you'll usually go in from the back here, and here's where you can see the spring bar. So it's a metal bar, just like that toilet paper roll holder that I showed you. And you can see the two edges here. So what ends up happening is that sometimes these watch bands are metal, and they put a little cutout here and here so that you can access the spring bar. Otherwise, especially if it's metal, it's not going to give. Now on a rubber and a leather band, sometimes they don't give you these cutouts because the rubber or the leather will compress a little bit, so you can kind of wedge your spring bar removal tool in there. But all you're going to want to do is use the little prongs to get in here and get one of these little ridges. Most of the time it helps to put it on something flat. And you want to grab it and kind of push down, compress that spring bar, and it's going to come right out. So all I was doing here is grabbing it up at the top, compressing it, and then it pulls it away. And here you can see if I pull the spring bar or push it out, you can see that it's just a little spring bar. I won't squeeze it too hard because it kind of hurts your fingers because it's so small. But like I said, it's just one of these, man. That's all it is, dude. Then, in most cases, you're going to want to you'll probably just want to use the same spring bar because spring bars are different lengths for the right application. These will probably be about 25 or 26 millimeters in length. But I'm going to put it in here and kind of line it up so you can see the edges on either end. And all you're going to do is you're going to put it in the hole that you want. And in this case, there are actually two holes, and I'm going to use probably the innermost one to keep the gap between the case and the watch band as tight as possible. So it's pretty easy. You just put one end into the hole, and then the other end, you're going to need to lay the watch down again like this, and you're going to use your spring bar removal tool and actually push the other end of the spring bar all the way into the watch band so that it clears that lug. Sometimes, and this is where sometimes you're not going to grab the little collar, you're actually just going to push the top of the spring bar all the way down so that you can slide it in. And then you've got to do a little bit of feel here. You're going to kind of move it around. You know generally where the hole is. I found it there. I felt it click into place. Give it a little tug. It's not going anywhere, and that is it. So pretty easy to do. I think this one looks great. Rubber, leather, or rubber bands on watches to me look cool, but they don't breathe very well. So especially if you wear them a long time, they kind of get a little I don't know, soggy, sticky, uncomfortable. So I usually like leather bands, especially with perforations. They kind of tend to absorb moisture and wear a little more comfortably. So, and the bottom one is just the exact same thing. So hopefully that helps. So when you're changing a watch band, just remember, toilet paper roll holder. Peter Von Panda out.